Hey, Genderqueer gang, Kai here. I totally dropped the ball for the last 3 weeks. Um, it, I guess I could give you a string of excuses. I'll just go ahead and do that, and then you can decide if any of them are worth um, listening to or whatever. So whatever. School's been super hectic. I've been working really hard to raise money for my top surgery, working a lot of extra jobs, and I totally am $500 away, which is super exciting. And I also, this is probably the actual reason why I haven't been on for 3 weeks, is that I have a new lover, and everybody knows how it is when you have a new lover that you're really excited about. So I've been spending a lot of time with her, and she's really fucking weird, and she doesn't socialize like a lot, I guess you could say normal, using that word, you know, like loftily, I guess. She doesn't socialize like normal people do, and I find that really refreshing. And so I've just been spending tons of time with her, and also doing a lot of writing. So those are the reasons why I haven't been on for the last couple 3 weeks or whatever. And so I'm kind of really excited this is an open week, so I can go back and address one of the topics that I missed. And I'm choosing to talk about the topic, or the two topics. If I'm just gonna read them right off the thing. If you were a drag king or queen, or I suppose even an exotic dancer, what would your stage name be? I've always known this, and I'm really excited to tell you guys. And then the second one is, are there any words that trigger dysphoria for you or make you self-conscious, uncomfortable? Are there any words that make you cringe because you generally don't like them? Okay, so I'm just going to talk about I'm going to talk about them in order. Number one is more fun. If I were a drag king, if I were a drag king, I've never thought of my drag queen name. And I've never thought of my exotic dancer name. But if I were a drag king, my name would be Dixon Fire. So it would be spelled Dixon and then last name Fire, because it sounds like dicks on fire, and I think that's really funny, and that's one of those hokey drag names. So that would totally be my name. Now that I'm reading this, I really want to come up with a drag queen name, because I totally feel like a drag queen when I put on a dress. I never feel like more of a man than the minute I put on a dress. And even an exotic dancer name. I have a friend who was an exotic dancer in San Francisco for 2 weeks, and her name was Taxi, and that is the best exotic dancer name I've ever heard. So yeah. Now, number two, words that trigger dysphoria for me. I mean, there's not words that are unattached to anything that trigger dysphoria. So they have to be attached to me somehow. So when somebody comments on maybe my shape or the size of my hips, if you even direct the word hips at me, I go into dysphoria overdrive, or curvy, totally just because those are things that I'm really sensitive about. Also, being she'd or heard or ma'amed or lady or missed, any of those things really throw me in dysphoria overdrive, because I've been on testosterone for 6 months, and when somebody she's me, it's typically people that knew me before, not people that know me now, or who met me post or during my transition. But when they she me, I start to obsess about what on my body or on my physical person is still feminine enough that they're sheing me, and then I start scouring my face in the mirror and looking at my body and picking myself apart, and that's dysphoria at its worst. So any references to me as a woman really trigger my dysphoria, which is super unfortunate, because I want to be able to enjoy my femininity, because I have femininity and I treasure it, but I just don't think I can enjoy it right now, because I really need to not be recognized as a woman. I mean, being recognized as more masculine is something, physically, is something that I want to be happening. So, also comments about my weight, anything about weight really kind of freak me out and throw me into dysphoria overdrive. As far as words that make me cringe because I generally don't like them, racist pejoratives fucking make me cringe. Also, the word tranny just because, like, I hear it used a lot in the trans, like, masculine community, and I was using it for a while until a friend of mine gently informed me that tranny is, like, it's a word that is primarily used against trans feminine people. Like, if you hear it, you immediately, like, in your mind think of someone who's trans feminine, and that's, like, the way that people who are cisgendered or, like, heteronormative society uses that word. And so it's not really, like, language that I should be using. It's, like, not my language. Even though I'm trans, that word is typically not directed at me, and so therefore I don't get to just, like, use it however I want to use it, because it doesn't belong to me, because it's not used to oppress me. And so now when I hear that word more often, I start to cringe. Women-hating language, like when people slut-shame, or when cisgendered men use the term bitch, it really bothers me a lot. So it's like more or less like who's using the words and what's attached to them and who they're attached to and like what kind of societal connotations and denotations they have and how they oppress people is like those are kind of like the contingencies upon whether or not a word will or will not make me cringe. That was a super fucking long sentence. So anyways, thank you for having me back, and I hope you got something out of this video, and I'll totally see you next week. Check out my links, and really cool, awesome, bye.